I'm Richard Taylor, it's Boxing Day 2017 and I'm here on the banks of the River Cam in an area which is going to change dramatically in 2018 as the new bridge, pedestrian cycle bridge, goes in behind me, and the new Chisholm Trail cycle route across here and across to eventually to Cambridge's central station is installed. Now that's happened because our city and county councillors are very pro the Chisholm Trail and making cycling and walking a more attractive option in Cambridge, and that's something that I support strongly as well. But councillors have another role. It's not just in setting the strategy. I think they've got to keep paying attention to the details of what's planned here. Now this winter we've seen people seriously injuring themselves, breaking bones on cycleways around the North Cambridge station. So I think it's really important that we get to grips with the detail of what's potentially some quite dangerous cycle lanes here as they go up the ramps and as the paths double back on themselves to join the hailing way behind me. I think councillors really need to look at the surfacing of the paths and the arrangements for keeping them free of ice during the winter, and that's something I've been lobbying on and I'm going to continue lobbying on until the designs are finalised. I'm disappointed that councillors haven't sort of kept control of these details themselves and instead of delegating them to officers. I think we should have had them discussed at formal public council meetings really, and councillors should have been taking interest. I was also concerned a little bit about the impact on the environment of this area because there are plans to fence off the new Chisholm Trail cycle lane as it's a cycle path as it goes along the railway there behind me. Gonville and Keys College own the land here, and they've said that they don't want dogs getting off the Chisholm Trail and disturbing the wildlife in the area, ground nesting birds. Now, that really doesn't make an awful lot of sense given the fact that all the other paths in this area are currently unfenced, and there are many people who walk their dogs along the river, and the dogs run around this green space. So those are two issues here that I'm planning to keep lobbying on until the designs are finalised. And my own view, my own sort of what I was proposing, or what I would have been pushing if I was an elected councillor, is a cycle path on the straight and level on the other side of the railway line. And that's what I think, if we had sort of engineers like Telford or Brunel designing it, that's what they would have done. They'd have run the Chisholm Trail in a straight and level fashion. But that would have been challenging. That would have involved some compulsory purchase perhaps, or certainly some land purchasing of properties on the other side of the river. So that was difficult, and there's always a balance to be struck between doing what you can do practically and sort of aiming for the ideal, even though that's harder. And that's a judgment that our councillors have got to take. But I would have put more effort into just trying to see if we could have got an ideal situation here, rather than having the path looping around and joining the hailing way, and then involving crossing Fen Road to get across the station, which I think is an excessively convoluted, unnecessarily convoluted route. But anyway, we'll have huge changes here in the next year or so, and I tend to watch carefully what's happening.